Let's get this sports podcast party started, all right?
The JAYREELZ Podcast.
Let's get this sports podcast party started, all right? An announcement. What a disgrace. He can rack up all these numbers in October, November, and December, but what really counts is let me see this in January.
The JAYREELZ Sports Rebel without a pause.
Let's get this sports podcast party started, all right?
Unpack sports talk like no other.
Listen, I got to call it as I see it. He is not a good player. I'm sick and tired of having to deal with the disappointment of this franchise. When does this sports podcast party started, all right? Another winter that I can sleep in peace. Coming correct, directed in full effect. Let's get it.
This is the JAYREELZ Podcast.
Let's get this sports podcast party started, all right? What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic, in excellent spirits. Yes, it may have been a super night last night, but guess what? Today is even that much more super as the podcast goes live for the very first time as I deliver everything that's happening in the world of sports, as this is the JAYREELZ Podcast with JAYREELZ. For my first timers, welcome aboard. And for those who've been banging with me going back to the very beginning, somewhere in the middle, even as early as this past Thursday, I welcome you guys and gals back. And yes, it feels great to do this on a live format. Generally, I record the podcast, post it. Obviously, you see it on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, etc., which it will be on later today. But I'm doing this a little bit backwards, and I figured that my maiden voyage had to be the day after the Super Bowl, and why not? So just to take some quick housekeeping, I want to post this up here for those who are watching, that the comments, because generally when I do my Wednesday live stream every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, where I go back and forth with you guys and gals, and it's a situation where once I get started on some topics, of course, we banter back and forth, debate, question, etc. But what I'm going to do is this, as you see there at the ticker on the bottom of the screen, please post a comment. Feel free, whatever's on your mind, whatever it is I'm going to say throughout the course of the next hour. And on the second hour, I'll go back, read through the comments, read through the questions. I'll post them. Now, if there are a bunch of hellos to my OGs, to the ones that have been down this road with us several times, our little community, I'll make a mention of that, but I'm not going to post every comment if it happens to be hello or anything like that. But certainly when it's sports related, I will post it there, right there on the screen for everybody to read, for everybody to watch, etc. So, yes, let's get this podcast party started. I am beyond grateful, thankful, and not only that, but for the foreseeable future, I'm going to do these podcasts as live streams. So that means come Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern, you're going to get the same deal, and I'll do a podcast pregame on YouTube as well, just to kind of set the table, get everything moving and shaking for the latest podcast. So now that we're here, let's get right to it. And all we have to say about the game last night, Super Bowl 60, with all the pomp and circumstance, and trust me, people, I'm going to break it down from pillar to post. You're not going to be left, as I bring up the graphic here, my apologies. This is what happens when you're doing a live show, right? Unlike when I do the live streams, so it's kind of like, I'm having fun, whatever. No, I got to be locked in, dialed in, etc. But last night's game, let's face it, was a dud. Wasn't a great game. Actually, it was a very ho-hum, boring game. I get he had a bunch of field goals there to start. 3-0, 6-0, 9-0, 12-0 before the first touchdown was scored. And what I'll say about the game, obviously I'll break down both teams, get into various scenarios. I'll talk about the pomp and circumstance leading up to the game, the commercials, the halftime show, etc. You're going to get it all right here. But when it comes to the game itself, I know there wasn't a lot of hype going into the game. I know that there was a situation where a lot of people thought that Seattle, on paper, were the better team. A lot of people thought that New England, with what they've done in the postseason, which to me, that was fool's gold, because for them to do what they did defensively, and obviously you saw that in full display last night. Their defense did everything they could to keep the Patriots in the game. But it was just a matter of time, as you saw. And not only that, but when you look at the offenses that they faced, the Chargers, who had their own offensive line issues in the wild card round, the divisional round where C.J. Stroud, I believe maybe he's throwing practice in his backyard or maybe in a facility somewhere. He just threw another interception as he was giving away turnovers as if it was Halloween candy. And then in the championship game was Jarrett Stidham. Brr, Stidham, ha ha, Stidham for my old school hip hop heads. So I don't want to hear that the Patriot defense and their dominance throughout the course. And yes, I understand we saw it right in front of our own eyes, but this was going to be a different game altogether. And despite the fact that they played well, but still were no match. And for those who've watched the podcast, for those who've listened to my live streams, etc., and I understand this is the business of prediction. And hand raised high in the air. I usually get it wrong more often than not. But this one I saw not a mile away. I saw it from here to Santa Clara. Because this Seattle defense, to me, was tailor-made for that Patriot offense. And I've heard people all week, whether on social, whether on other channels, even family members. Last night, my father-in-law came out. Oh, but the Rams put up 27 points on that defense. I understand Drake May was an MVP candidate, runner-up, very close margin, if you recall. And I'm going to talk about that later on as well. But he does not have Devontae Adams. He does not have Puka Nacua. I understand they have the two good running backs, but that's what they are. They're good. And yes, you could say Kenneth Walker, nobody's going to be thinking of him as Terrell Davis. Well, you might as well last night because he carved up that Patriot defense. And maybe it was a thing where they probably thought, oh, well, let's just channel all our energy to Sam Darnold and make him beat us. And what else did I say throughout the course of the week besides the defense being tailor-made for that offense? I said if Sam Darnold plays just an average game, and I even threw out numbers, 19 for 36 for 190 yards with a touchdown, maybe even an interception, they would still win the game. He had to be putrid. He had to throw 3 or 4 interceptions in order for the Patriots to win the game. And I also said this too, if the game was clean, no turnovers, the Seahawks would win the game. And that's pretty much it in a big, giant nutshell before I break down the game itself and give you a quick overview. Now, as far as the game, I know the opening drive, people could talk about the Cooper Kupp catch, not catch there on the sideline. It was close. Looked like the ball was moving. Obviously, the foresight that Darnold and the offense had just to go up to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, get the next play in, fine. Who knows? They may would have gotten the first down. They probably would have kicked the field goal there. That opened up the scoring. And obviously, you didn't get a lot of scoring after that because and I'll start with the Seahawks in that regard. The Seahawks were able to move the ball at times. Yes, they punted, and their punting was fantastic last night. I mean, how could you not think that Dixon, the guy was coffin corner, 2-yard line. Fantastic. And I don't know how you can, when you watch this game, and despite the fact that Darnold was getting pressured, I thought at first they were going too much of the pass. Kenneth Walker had a first down there in that opening drive. And to me, they almost tried to out-psych the Patriot defense where I think that's what the Patriots wanted. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, they wanted Sam Darnold to beat that Patriot defense. And it almost looked like it was going to be the case there as the game wore on. And even at halftime, and what was it, 9-0 and a half? I believe that was the score. I looked at that more of a victory for the Seahawks than it was for the Patriots. Because I'm sure the Patriot fan was thinking, hey, it's 9-0. We're still in the game. We're going to be fine. Yada, yada, yada. We got them right where we want them. The Seahawks, they're probably frustrated. They're offensively, so on and so forth. No, I looked at it the other way around. I really, truly believed in my heart of hearts watching that game because this Patriot offense did nothing, that it was just a matter of time before the Seahawks were going to break through. And as you saw, that was the case. They got the field goal to make it 12-0, and then the Drake May fumble, which was the biggest play right there because even at 12-0, you thought that if somehow, some way the Patriots were going to get a touchdown, then they could feel like, oh, we're in the game. But then after that fumble and then the touchdown to A.J. Barner, 19-0, did you really think that the Seahawks were going to give up, forget about 19 points, even a touchdown at that point? And as it was the next drive, they went 3 plays into the end zone. And I was hoping to see a shutout because obviously we've never seen a shutout in the Super Bowl. And I was hoping that would be the case. But, of course, that didn't happen. All right, fine, whatever. But then Seattle, they said, all right, fine, no problem. They ended up kicking another field goal. They tacked on another touchdown. Sam Darnold, again, was not spectacular in the game, but of course did what he had to do. Didn't turn the ball over, made critical throws when he had to, and was able to move the chains when they absolutely positively needed. This is water, people. Don't think it's vodka or rum for those watching. And obviously, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, you're probably wondering, what's going on here? Well, this is just for the video people that are out there doing this live. So here it was. Game now getting out of hand. Drake May gets picked off. He got sacked. Ball goes up in the air. Intercepted by, what was it, Nwasu, I believe it was. Got in the end zone touchdown. I mean, obviously that iced the game. But Kenneth Walker and what he did on the ground, who was the MVP of the game, I was very surprised by the Patriot run defense. And even though their defense did absolutely anything and everything they could to say, hey, can you guys at least get on the board with a score? And this is all you need to know. After that Drake May fumble at 12-0, and the camera panned to the sideline to the defensive players, and all you saw was this, that wasn't because of the fumble. I'm sure that was because, we got to go back out there yet again. And obviously they weren't able to stop them 19-0. And you can, in more words of Warner Wolf, turn your sets off. That was the game. So Seattle, give them all the credit in the world. They were deserving. Sam Darnold, what could you say? I mean, just a magic carpet ride that I'm sure he never wants to get off of. And with all the teams that he's been on, obviously the Jets, third pick overall back in 2018, Carolina, to San Francisco, to Minnesota, having a rough end of the season last year in Detroit and then on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. And here it was this year, that game in Seattle where they were down 30-14, and it looked like they were going to be on the outs, a team that would have to go on the road through the postseason. And who knows, if they would have lost that game, maybe they would have faced the Rams in the championship game, but that would have been at SoFi, not at Lumen Field. And we saw what Darnold did in the championship game. And I understand that the head coach after the championship game said that, everybody's got to shut up about Sam Darnold. I said, not so fast. Let's see how he does in the Super Bowl. And he didn't have to be great. He didn't have to be good. He just had to be average. And that's what he was. But he made plays. He was guile, guts, nothing spectacular. Stood there with the rush, and he faced the rush, but made all the throws. And he won a Super Bowl. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And I didn't watch the video, but I saw a headline, Dan Orlovsky there on ESPN First Take, coming out saying this is the greatest redemption story of a quarterback ever. Did you ever hear Jim Plunkett, a guy who was a number 1 overall pick, New England Patriots, and was literally a roadkill as far as his NFL career goes, gets resuscitated in Oakland, wins the Super Bowl there, and then 3 years later, as a member of the LA Raiders, wins the Super Bowl again? Did you forget about him? But I understand we live in the world of prisoners of the moment, the recency bias, etc. All right, I get that. But still, can't say that when you had a guy that literally came out of college, number 1 overall, and like I said, after being a New England Patriot, which obviously they did nothing in the 70s, I know Sugar Bear Hamilton, etc., but go back and check on the history books when it comes to the playoffs. But that's what you got. And the Seahawks, all the credit in the world. Their defense was phenomenal. Pass rush. There's anything more. I can't throw any more bouquets at them. And Walker was deserving to be the MVP. Yeah, if you could have given it to the entire defense to get the MVP, I would do that, which would have been almost a carbon copy of the other Super Bowl they won at MetLife when they beat the Broncos, and they gave it to Malcolm Smith, the linebacker, because they had to give it to somebody on the defense because nobody in the offense was that. It wasn't Russell Wilson. It wasn't Percy Harvin. It wasn't Marshawn Lynch. Nobody really stood out there on offense, so they gave it to Malcolm Smith, who I believe didn't he have an interception return for a touchdown? So that's the Seahawks side. As for the Patriots, I understand this was a big step for Drake May, second-year quarterback. All the comparisons to Marino, not as a quarterback, but him getting to the game in his second year and how the rest of his career is going to play out. We don't know that. We do not have a crystal ball to see what's going to happen. But he was overwhelmed. He was awful in the game. Missed throws left and right. Coming out of the half there, he had Austin Hooper wide open. He just literally overthrew him. Rushing throws. I get it. He didn't want to get hit. And when he got hit, he got annihilated. The interception, the fumble, I mean, come on. And I get it. The left side of their offensive line is literally human turnstiles. We've seen it all along, the Will Campbells of the world. And I mean, come on. There isn't any, I'm not going to pound them. The guys, they're rookies. And they were overmatched. And everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, the New England Patriots in the playoffs, we beat the number 1 defense, the number 3 defense, and the number 5 defense. Well, you faced the number 2 defense, and how'd that work out? And I said it all along. I thought this offense was not going to do the job against this defense. And you saw it. And I don't want – listen, it's easy to pound on Drake May today. I understand the offensive line, and I get it. He was awful. There's no way to cut it. It certainly didn't help that the left side of his offensive line was terrible. But you also got to factor in this. And it's just a fact. I hate it. I understand the Patriot fan. They're going to hate this. They're going to say, oh, I can't believe, shut up, JAYREELZ, whatever. But it's true. Who did they play this year? Their schedule was god-awful. They played nobody. And to think, one of their 3 losses this year was against the Raiders. Week 1. That run through the playoffs, I get it. Rose-petaled, not even a yellow brick road. That might as well have been gold-plated. And for them to get to this point and to put up a stinker like that, now listen, there were no match. I'm sure a lot of people thought that. I mean, the Bill Simmonses of the world, oh, I don't think their defense is that great. Oh, I'm confident going to the game. I mean, he's a homer big time. He doesn't call like he sees it. And listen, I love Bill Simmons. I go back to his podcast many years. And then you have, of course, you want to call him Barstool or Barfool. I didn't want to call him his name, but yeah, him showing his rings and stop. You talk about not only did the team, their offense, as offensive as it was, but their fan base, they didn't get bludgeoned yesterday. Kind of hate to use this term, but is this appropriate? They got curb stomped and kicked in the teeth yesterday. And I'm here for it. Because the Pat fan was so over-exuberant, overconfident. Oh, look what we did. We're giving up 8 points in this postseason. Hey, our defense gets no respect. Oh, Drake May. I know Drake Maybe's now the big name. Listen, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. But all this nonsense. Oh, the Pats are back. I'm sorry. You guys took a big step back. Not only in this game, but who knows what they're going to do this offseason. Because they need more skilled players. Not only do they need a left tackle. I understand Will Campbell, he's going to grow into the position, you would think. But they need some better receivers. Stephon Diggs twirling the ball with 2 minutes to go, and he only had 3 catches in the game. I mean, seriously. And Stephon Diggs is a good receiver. He is not a top-flight receiver, as you saw. And the other kid, Keyshawn Boutte, which I understand he's made some plays this postseason, the great catch against Houston. But these guys aren't big-time players. And not saying you need to have big-time players. Look, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who was out partially of the game, had 1 catch in the game, or 1 catch of note. And they need a player like that. They have nobody that's going to make you stay up at night if you're a defensive coordinator. Be like, oh, man, there's a Randy Moss-like guy there, or there's a Saquon Barkley-type running back or whatever. Listen, Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, they're good players. But they're not game-breaking players. They're not guys that are, oh, wait a minute. No, not in the least. And I don't want to hear the excuses for Drake May with the shoulder. Oh, well, he had to get a shot, blah, blah. No, I don't want to hear it. You know the old saying, if you're injured, don't play. And if you play while you're injured, no excuses. None. I don't want to hear it. So the Drake May apologist today, sorry. Drake May could have been healthy, and he could have had Tom Brady there quarterback. That defense just was overwhelming. And you got to tip your cap. That's it. And until they get those better skill position players, I don't think they're going to be a big-time threat. And now they're going to have a first-place schedule going into next year. Listen, and they're not going to be 7-10. But I'm not going to – do I see 14-3 again? I don't. to me, they were not a team that, as the year went on with a very soft schedule, they were the huntee. Next year, they're going to be the hunted. And that's it. And, right, they could be 11-6, 12-5, still good. Who knows what's going to happen in Buffalo next year? But, listen, they got a great break this year. They got a 2 seed. They went up against a Bronco team that had a backup quarterback and terrible play calling by Sean Payton, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, and they got to a Super Bowl. Kudos. Congrats. But yesterday, flat out, that offense got exposed. That's it. What more can I tell you about the game? I mean, there really isn't anything else to talk about. No controversies, no strategies, and none of that. You know, it's interesting. Even at 29-13, when they went for 2, and I thought to myself, why did they go for 2 here? Really? Kick the extra point, it'd be 15. But I understand. They went for 2 because they felt that even if they missed the 2-point conversion, 29-13, they're still down 2 scores. But you just put yourself in a position where you got to get not only 2 touchdowns, which was going to be impossible at that point, but then you got to get 2-point conversions. So if you kick the extra point there at 29-13, make it 29-14, you still need the 2 touchdowns, but you just need 1 2-point conversion. That's how I looked at it. But we all know the game was over at that point. So, right, there isn't any other particular strategy. I understand you could talk about certain catches there. There was the one catch. Who had that? It was in the second quarter. Was it Kenneth Walker? I believe it looked like it hit the turf. Listen, at that point, it wasn't a big play or big enough of a play to really think back and be like, oh, if that was called the right way, that would have turned the game around. No, nonsense. So I'm not even going to get into that. But that was your Super Bowl. A dud of a game. Seattle dominated their defense and Kenneth Walker. The Patriot offense was, just like I said, offensive. And that was your Super Bowl. Anything else you could add, you can put it in the comments. As you see it scrolling on the bottom, I'll answer those in the second hour. I'll be here for 2 hours. And we'll go through them. And we'll either agree to disagree or banter back and forth, debate, etc. You name it. And yeah, here's the Patriot aftermath that I wanted to get into, which I should have gotten up to. But anyway, now let me get on to the build-up, commercials, halftime show, etc. Now, I watched the game at my in-laws, and we were running late there, so I didn't watch any of the build-up, meaning the anthems. I did see the coin toss, but a lot of the stuff like Green Day, I didn't see any of that. And as it is, the Super Bowl takes forever to start, as when I looked at my watch, it was 6:42 p.m., which is a flat-out joke. And I get it that the Super Bowl is an event now. It's not even a game anymore. It's about everything that's happening before, in the middle, not including the game, and to a certain extent after the game, where everybody's just going to be dialed in, locked in, etc. So I didn't get wrapped up in any of the build-up, although kickoff next year is probably going to be 6:43, 6:44, and who knows, before you know, it's going to be 7 o'clock for kickoff. But, so we'll put that aside. As far as the commercials, now, I wasn't locked in on all the commercials. I thought the 2 that stuck out to me that I liked, the Instacart commercial with Ben Stiller and I believe it was Benson Boone, to me that was hilarious. And how could you not laugh at that? I thought that was funny. The one commercial with the State Farm, to me, with Keegan, Bradley, Key, and who's the other guy that was on there? It goes to show you, I even forgot. To me, that was nonsense. The other one that I liked, and this was a little bit more, I don't want to say personal. I don't want to take it that strong. But the one that I guess meant the most to me was the Mike Tyson commercial about not eating processed food, that realfood.org. That, I don't want to say hit home because I believe you talked about his sister, diabetes, etc. But we all know that with so much processed food and so much garbage that's out there and the stuff that they eat, etc. And I understand not everybody has access to whole food, clean food, fresh food. I get it. But to me, I love that. And to me, that's making a statement. So kudos to realfood.org for putting that out there amongst all the other commercials that are out there with all the fast food, etc., whatever, which please, I can't bother with that. But yeah, a lot of the commercials, like the Budweiser commercials and all that, I mean, the commercials are a joke. They're not the same. I don't know. Who knows? Pepsi, I know with the Coca-Cola, polar bear and all that. I mean, they do nothing for me. And maybe I'm missing out on a commercial or two. Again, leave it in the comments. We'll talk about that as well. And I appreciate everybody that's hopped on board to this point. I see you got a dozen people here up here in the live. So thank you so much for stopping by, carving out precious time out of your day. But all right, now let's cut to the halftime show. Now, mind you, I was recording a video to post during halftime. I know I talked about doing a live. For those who watch me on the live streams every Wednesday, high noon Eastern time, I know I've talked about it for weeks leading up to it. Oh, I may do a live, blah, blah, blah. It was tough when you have people, company, and trying to be present. Listen, it was just going to be difficult. Now, here I was trying to record and post while all this is happening. And everybody that I was with, they were anticipating this beyond belief. The whole Benito Bowl, the whole, oh, it's a concert, but a football game broke out. You know, the whole saying, yeah, I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Or was it? I went to a hockey game and a fight, whatever it was. But the performance, I get it. It's not for everybody. I understand. We could talk about it till we're blue in the face, so on and so forth. Understood. But the message, the everything that was put forth, the inclusivity of the everything, whether it's all the flags and the mentioning and the flag, first of course, being the United States, but all the other flags, all the other Latin countries represented, Latinos, etc. I mean, come on. How can you not like that? And of course, with it concluding about the only thing that will drive out hate is love. And I'm paraphrasing that, the graphic that you saw there on the scoreboard at the end. And I get it. Nobody knows what he's saying. Fine. But the music, it got into a lot of people, the energy, etc. Listen, was it Prince circa 2007, Super Bowl 41? I'm partial to that. Not that I'm the biggest Prince fan on the planet, but I mean, come on. In the rain, covering other people's songs. Please go back and watch it on YouTube. But him trying to unite everybody. And as you saw in the football before he spiked it, together, we are America. And it's true. That's all there is to it. That's all he was doing. And whether you like the music, whether you like the dancing, whether you don't like it, whatever, and I get it. Not everybody's cup of tea. Just like I'm sure there's somebody out there that's not, oh, JAYREELZ, I can't stand him. He's too loud. He's too this. He's too that. It's fine. I get it. Not everybody's going to appeal to everybody. Understood. But guess what? And I'm going to segue this to the next thing in a moment. You understand what the NFL's trying to do here? Trying to go global. They're trying to make this a big thing. This isn't about artists that are just in America. And in the case of Bad Bunny's Puerto Rico, it is part of America. Don't be surprised if you're going to see some K-pop group or K-pop artist that's going to be a Super Bowl halftime act. And I know everybody will probably be outraged then as well. Oh, how can we have this? Who cares? NFL, they're expanding to games in Australia, Rio. They're going all over the place, which to me is a little bit too much. I'll get into that in a minute. I'll keep that separate. But as far as these halftime shows, it's going to explode even more. So whomever is out there in the world who becomes an enormous pop star, doesn't matter who it is, if they are at the top of the charts and they get a zillion streams and you name it, that's going to be the next Super Bowl halftime act. And guess what? You're going to have to just grin and bear it. That's all there is to it. And listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Am I bumping Bad Bunny in my earbuds, my car, in the apartment? I am not. And it's nothing personal toward him or whatever. It's not. Are there a few songs from his last album that I like? The one he came out, they won a Grammy? There are a few. Have I downloaded? Have I played? I have not. Straight up. And I'm Puerto Rican. Now I'm a New York Rican. My Spanish is bad. That's a whole other story. But my point is that just so people don't look at this as a thing where as much as people, and rightfully so, have been over the moon by the performance, and a lot of people looked at the message, saw it for what it was worth, and I'm behind that. How could anybody not be behind that? I don't care what walk of life you're from. If you're not a part of that, then I don't know what to tell you at that point. I really don't. But this is coming from somebody that does not have a bias towards the artist, what he does, whatever, but you got to admire what he stands for, whether he does it in Spanish, whether he does it in any other language, obviously in this case Spanish, but it doesn't matter because he's trying to include everybody here because that's the point. With all the divisiveness that's gone on, and not to unpack that, but the bottom line is this. His show, and they had the married couple come out there that actually did get married to show some love there. And I know the boy, where there's rumored to be the kid that was pulled in Minneapolis. People say that's an actor. I don't know what to believe. Some people say, no, that's officially it's a 5-year-old boy that got pulled from his family, etc., sent to Texas. I don't know. But all the messages that were there highlighting Puerto Rico, which, again, is U.S. territory. And the bottom line is if you did not get the message at the end of that, despite the fact not knowing a word he said, and I hate to say it, in my background, my heritage, I should know what he's saying, and I don't. And, of course, hand raised high. You know me. I'm about being transparent, authentic, the whole nine. And that's a bad job on my part, 1,000%. But that could have been anybody else doing the same thing, whether it was an American artist, whether it was a hip-hop artist, whether it was R&B, whether it was rock, it doesn't matter. EDM. If they were trying to put that message out there for everybody, it's like, nah, this is all about love. This is all about a good time. It's all about fun. It's all about family. It's all about friends. It's all about togetherness. Isn't that what it's about? And that's what I took from it. But again, Prince still has the heavyweight belt as far as Super Bowl halftimes go. And that one you can't dispute. Sorry. You want to put that in the comments? Put that in the comments. We'll talk about that too. But to me, dearly beloved, the purple one, somewhere upstairs, may he rest in peace. Go back and watch that again because that was a Super Bowl halftime for the ages. So I'll just leave it at that. Now, let's get to I want to talk about some now off the field NFL international games, Hall of Fame coaching news before I get to a few other things, and I'll get to the comments, of course. Now, as I mentioned before, NFL, they're going to have a game in Australia. Why they're putting 49ers Rams there is beyond me. Did you have to put a division game? So the Ram fan, and even the Niner fan for that matter, and one of my diehards who part of the community here on YouTube, my guy shot him out, BioZio186. Says it's good that the game's not being played at SoFi because all the Niner fans would flock to the building. Well, why are they going to have that game in Australia? You couldn't put another game up there? Number one. Number two, the game you're going to have in Rio, you're going to have the Cowboys there. So who knows if that's going to be, I can see that being the Friday game. Because remember, the last two openers in Sao Paulo were right after the opener. And we could guess who the Seahawks are going to host in that opening game. It shouldn't be the Rams. Should not. Because then, although that would be good theater, but I don't think it should be the Rams. It could be the Rams, and maybe it should be, but season opener, you want to kind of save that for midseason when both teams are really, hopefully you would think, at the top of the NFC West, and we'll really have a better gauge as to how those two teams will be for the 2026 season. But when you have these other games and these other locations that are going to have, and especially like I mentioned with Rio, where I would think that Friday game, the Cowboys are going to host that game. Because remember, the NFC has the extra game next year with the imbalanced schedule, which, as you know, I hate. 17 games. I mean, really? But let me just see. I'm make sure I got, and the other game there too, which I'll get to in a moment. And then also they have the first game in Paris. And the NFL eventually wants to get to a point where they want to have 16, count them, 16 international games, which goes back to my point about the Super Bowl halftime and trying to be global. And as you know, whether this is your first time here, welcome aboard. And if it's not, welcome back. I've said this all along, and I get that they want to go global, but to me, the NFL they're just being greedy pigs. Because to have these games in these other locales, I can't stand them. To me, I don't watch the international games. I have no appeal of watching a 9:30 NFL game because they just jam the product down your throat. And we get enough NFL games as it is to begin with. And when you get deeper into the year, forget about it. Between Thanksgiving with the 3 games, Black Friday, Christmas now, the Saturday games. I mean, it's too much. And I've watched football going back to the 70s. So I don't want to hear, oh, Jay, you're being anti-Shield, anti-NFL. No, I'm not. It's just when is enough. But we get it. We live in the streaming world. We live in the digital age of where content is king. And we all know the NFL, as evidenced by the ratings last night, what did they get? Did I see 127 million? And I think at its peak with the Super Bowl halftime, it was 137 million people that watched it, which is the highest halftime show watched ever. But 127 million people watched this. And you could have any of these games. Forget about the Super Bowl. You could have Tennessee playing Arizona on the moon on a Wednesday at 3 a.m. It's going to draw better ratings than anything that any of the networks could produce. It's a fact. But just because you could do it doesn't mean you should. With all of the streaming platforms, all of the TV slot, all of the scheduling slots, like I said, the 3 games on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on this day, on that day, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on the moon, on Saturn. I mean, again, they just jam it down your throat. Now, I understand you could stiff arm it and say, I'm not going there. Understood. But it's just, and this is what NFL, I understand they could do it because the NBA can't do that. Major League Baseball can't do that. NHL. There's no way they can get those ratings. And it's going to be interesting to see with the World Cup in the summertime because how the ratings going to be, considering that they're going to be played on North American soil, what that's going to be like. Because obviously you have soccer fans all over the place, but what is the rating going to be like? Is it going to be similar to, let's say, an NBA Finals rating? That we'll have to wait and see. Maybe, depends on who the teams are. But just think about that when we look at the schedule next year. And the schedule is not going to be out till May. But you're going to have international games littered. And those are the 3 new locales on top of, obviously, London. I believe either Munich or Berlin. And there's going to be a game in Paris where the Saints are going to play there. And, of course, the Saints, when you think of the Bayou and Creole and the Fleur de Lis. So, yeah, you're going to have them play in Paris for the first time. So there you have it. And one last thing. Can I say this? Can I pound the NFL one more time? So the NFL last night, they showed the different locations in Melbourne. I believe in Rio de Janeiro, the NFL fan with the jerseys on and cheering, hey, for the camera. I mean, if that's not the most orchestrated, most contrived nonsense, they probably picked that place well in advance. They said, we want any fan to go there. We'll send the jerseys, et cetera, down there and just cheer for the camera. Now, listen, are there NFL fans in Australia? I'm sure there are. Rio de Janeiro? Yeah, maybe a few. But come on. Seriously, NFL, is this what we're going to have to do to reach, to try to get fans to, I mean, but they can't get out of their own way. And then the players, and I hope they stick to those guns. They say, we don't want an 18th game. Now, the rank and file may want it because the backup left tackle or the long snapper or the third string linebacker, they're going to want as much money in an extra game check. But I hope it doesn't go to 18. I wish they could go back to 16. Because 17, what we're going to have next, 163 game Major League Baseball season, 83 game NHL or NBA season? Nonsense. Now, as far as the Hall of Fame goes, I think the players that got there are deserving. I know Roger Craig was voted in because when you had the whole Belichick, Robert Kraft, which you talked about last week on the podcast, he was the guy that they voted in. All right, fine. Very good running back. Is he a Hall of Famer? But Drew Brees, lock. Larry Fitzgerald, lock. Luke Kuechly, listen, he had, I believe, 5 All-Pro seasons, maybe 3 first team and 2 second team. I think he played 10 years. Maybe he played 9 years. Listen, I don't have a problem with that. I understand concussions shortened his career, but kudos to him. And Adam Vinatieri, that's another lock too. I mean, the guy was as clutch as it gets. So I don't have a problem with the Hall of Fame. And I know there's going to be some people, Eli Manning, what happened to him? Whatever, he's going to have to wait his turn. But that's what you have. And then real quick, Matthew Stafford was your MVP. What do you have? 5 more votes more than Drake May. And listen, May was deserving, 100%, but you had to give it to Stafford. I mean, that team, harder schedule, tougher division, tougher road. And people can say, well, JAYREELZ, they can only play the teams that they play against. And if Drake May's playing against the Tennessee Titans and the dregs of the league, it's not his fault. I get it. And maybe this was more of a lifetime achievement for Stafford because May obviously is just starting his career where Stafford was on the tail end. And, of course, he announced in the MVP honors where he had his daughters up there saying that he's going to come back next year, which could tie into the Super Bowl being played in SoFi next year. So knowing that they're going to run it back, let's give it one more go. Rams and Seahawks are going to be favored to get to a Super Bowl and maybe win it. The early odds right now. So, hey, good for him. And then you had Cliff Kingsbury, speaking of the Rams, join Sean McVay's staff. He's a guy that didn't fare well as a coach, although he did get to a playoff when he was a member of the Arizona Cardinals. But very good offensive mind, integrated there with McVay. Listen, we know that offense is loaded as it is to begin with, and now you're going to bring in Kingsbury? That should be pretty interesting for the Ram fan there next year. And then Sonny Jurgensen died, the former Eagle and Washington Redskins, of course, at the time, quarterback. 91, Sonny Jurgensen, who was on that team in 72 that lost to the Dolphins. And Sonny Jurgensen, for a lot of people, said that he had a great arm, a guy that obviously was a big-time player, I believe Hall of Famer. And I should know that off the top of my head. But passing at the age of 91, of course, thoughts, prayers, condolences go out to Jurgensen and his family. All right, now let's pivot, people. That's it with the NFL. Let's go to the association. Let me lace up the high tops and see what's happening there. And the one thing of note, which is absolutely shocking, and I talked about this briefly on Thursday's podcast, that if I were to tell you right now who the hottest team in the NBA is, or how about this? How about if I asked you that? And you probably have to think for a moment and say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's got to be OKC, right? You'd be wrong. San Antonio? Not in the least. Oh, it's got to be Detroit, right? The Pistons, they're the 1 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Well, can't be the Celtics because they lost yesterday to the Knicks, got blown out 111-89. Absolutely not. They're not the hottest team. But you're right. They got blown out. Maybe it's the Knicks? Because they got blown out by the Pistons on Friday night, 111-80, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, or 118-80, some ridiculous score. You'd be wrong on all fronts. No, it's not the Lakers. No, it's not the Nuggets. No, it's not the Sixers. No, it's not the Cavs. It is the Charlotte Hornets. Yes, those Charlotte Hornets, led by LaMelo Ball. And if I asked you who their head coach was, you'd probably think, oh, wait a minute. Is it Michael Jordan? No, it's not. And remember, he sold his portion of the team, so he's not running the team anymore. And I wonder how he feels right now, knowing that the team is actually playing pretty well. No, it is Charles Lee. Who's Charles Lee? Yes. Well, I guess you have to look him up to see, but that is your head coach. It's not Jesse Borrego. It's not any of the other interims in the past. No, Charles Lee, who's done a phenomenal job. Now, think about it. They've won 9 in a row. Along the way, it's not as if they've beaten all the bad teams, considering that the Hornets, they're not even at 500 right now. I think they're 2 games under at the moment. They've beaten the Spurs. They've beaten the Rockets last week on the road in Houston. Give them credit there. They've also beaten Philly and Orlando, 2 teams that are ahead of them in the standings. So it's not as if they've beaten up on the Wizards or the Sacramento Kings or the Indiana Pacers of the world. Yeah, there are a few sprinkled in, but they've shown you something here a little bit during this 9-game winning streak to where they currently have the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, what does this mean for them in the big picture? They're going to get smacked. They're going to get smoked, as we know. But you kind of like to see a team that has been on no one's radar when it comes to the association, or even any sport for that matter. That's like the Pirates being in the middle of a wild card race in August. You like to see it. Now, does this mean they're going to go on this journey through a postseason where they're going to get to a conference final? No way. But at least for right now, who knows? Maybe I jinxed them. We'll come back in 2 weeks or after the All-Star break, and then they'll lose 6 of 8, and that's it. There'll be no talk about the Hornets from now until God knows when. But listen, give it up between he and the Brandon Millers of the world and the Concanepples. I mean, you got to give it up. They've played well here. And let's just hope they can continue, because that East, when you look at the 7 through 10, it's the same teams over and over. It's the Atlantas of the world, the Miamis. Chicago is now on the outside, currently constituted there in the East. But you know what? You like to see it, because the association right now is going to be the one sport that's going to carry us, and some college basketball too, that's going to have to carry us here over these next couple of months. And really, when you think about it, over the next 2.5 weeks. And also, let me just throw this in the mix. Now that the NFL season is over, we are about to embark on the Sports Dead Zone Part 1. Ooh, JAYREELZ, what is the Sports Dead Zone Part 1, I may ask? Well, that's the time after the Super Bowl, and I could say the NCAA tournament, but to be fair, the start of the baseball season. And especially once you get to April. Because that time in between, that's when winter's going to feel like it's forever. And think about this. When you get to Thursday night around 11 p.m., the only sport that's going to be around for the next week, so from Thursday night 11 p.m. to about Thursday 7 o'clock the following week, the only sport that's going to carry us through is college basketball. Why? NHL's on a hiatus due to the Winter Olympics. NBA is going to have its All-Star break this coming weekend. So you're going to have the slam dunk and all that Saturday night and the game on Sunday, which is U.S. versus the world, I guess, which the All-Star games become a joke. We know that. And it is going to be a barren sports wasteland. But you know what? Keep coming back, people, because on the YouTube channel, whether I post shorts every day or the podcast or live streams or other content, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. But I'll find something. There's always something that's going on in the sports world. So I got you covered no matter what is going on, whether it's the slowest sports day in the world or it's on and popping. So just keep that in mind. But going back to the association real quick, when we look at the landscape as we're just a few days away, yes, I talked a little bit about the Knicks winning yesterday. And the Celtics, they're tied at the 2 seed there in the East, just 5 games, well, not just, but 5 games behind the Pistons there. And the Pistons, they're going to be scot-free. They're going to go in as the number 1 seed on roller skates. I'd be shocked if they weren't that at the end of the year. But as I pull up what is happening in the sport, I mean, other than that, other than Charlotte, I know the Spurs have played pretty well here. And they're just 3-1 behind Oklahoma City in the Western Conference. Yeah, the East is still the same. I'm not going to get into Cleveland and Toronto. I mean, but in the West, Nuggets, who are right behind, or really 2.5 behind, with 3-1 of San Antonio, followed by the Rockets, Lakers, T-Wolves. 7 through 10, you got Phoenix, Golden State, the Clippers, and Trailblazers. Trailblazers are what? 3-1, but 4 games ahead of Memphis. So it looks like you're not going to have a race there. And that's the thing about the NBA. For those who don't really pay attention to the regular season, and I can understand why you don't, unless you're just a diehard fan or a good NBA fan that you just love to watch night in, night out. But it's the slog that gets to mid-April, because let's face it, this isn't like baseball, at least once upon a time, with the wild card races or with the pennant races where you're trying to see which team are going to jockey to get into the postseason. Or it's not the NFL when it comes down to tiebreakers or who has the 6th seed, the 7th seed. NBA is like, all right, whomever's 7 through 10, we'll watch that. Then you get into the real part of the tournament. Rarely do you get the 8-1 upset. Usually the better team wins, and then you get to conference final. I mean, it's a slog. Now, you may have the one or two games that you pay attention to, or God forbid something crazy happens where on the court, some fisticuffs, suspensions, you're really going to get that one game that you're going to be, oh my God, did you watch that game last night? NBA's not built like that. Yeah, there may be a game or two like, oh, are the Lakers going to play the Celtics again? And that's a yes for those who are wrapped up in the rivalry or the history of the sport in that regard to see when the Lakers and Celtics are going to play, and the Knicks can play the Lakers again and whatever. But just like the NHL, it is a slog. And when we take a look at the schedule for the week, and I'll get into a couple other things too. As a matter of fact, let me get into that right now. And it happened to do with some personnel moves. Because when I did the podcast on Thursday, that was the day of the trade deadline. You had some last-minute trades, which I thought were big trades. One, the Clippers sending Ivica Zubac to Indiana. Well, I was really surprised. It was almost as if they're trying to break up the team. Obviously, Harden goes to Cleveland. Zubac, who's a very – I don't even say he's underrated. Very good big man and a guy that is a walking double-double. And he goes to Indiana, and we know Indiana, they're building for next year, waiting for Tyrese Halliburton to come back. And they gave up Benedict Mathurin, who was a former top pick there of the Pacers, Isaiah Stewart, and I believe they gave up 2 other first-round picks. So that's a deal that you had to make. I thought and listen, I'm not trying to make Ivica Zubac out to be Nikola Jokic, but a guy's a very good NBA player. And then you had the Knicks trade for Jose Alvarado, the former Pelican guard, who's by way of Brooklyn, New York. And I know all the New Yorkers were just pumped up and his attitude and energy, etc. But he's going to bring that. No doubt. And let's see if it's going to harken back to the days of the 90s, because there's going to be moments where, not to say that he's going to be asked to score because they got other guys that are on the floor that can score, but you have to wonder how much burn he's going to get. Is he going to get burned in the last 5 minutes of a game? And I'm sure Mike Brown's going to deploy him as such, depending on how the game unfolds and where they're going to need it the most, that bring that attitude, to bring just the overall spunk, energy, and that's what I think this Knicks team needs. Now, we've seen that they've shown heart in the past, but are they going to have enough muscle? And listen, he's a point guard. He's not Charles Oakley. He's not Anthony Mason. He can't even say he's John Starks right now. But let's see how that unfolds, because I know the Knicks fans ecstatic, and you need a guy like that on your team. So we shall see what Alvarado, as far as what he's going to do here as a member of the Knicks. And then you had the Nets cut Cam Thomas, who couldn't wait to get out of Dodge, signs with the Bucks. And you're probably wondering, wow, how come he didn't sign with a better team? I believe the pecking order is that he's going to go from the worst team all the way down. So if all the bad teams bypass him, and as you get deeper, further down, the Bucks said, we're going to take this guy, and they snatched him. So obviously you don't see Cam Thomas on, let's say, the Pistons or the Thunder, Nuggets, Celtics, etc. And let's see how Cam Thomas fares, considering that the Bucks are going nowhere fast. They're on the outside of the playing scenario, and as I look right now, well, they're only 1 in the loss. But here's the problem with that. And we understand that Charlotte has the 10 seed. You never know. And they'll probably go back to the pack. But the Bucks are 8 games under 500. And I understand that you can make the playoffs without being at 500. But are the Bucks ever going to click, considering what's going on with Giannis' health and how the team is constructed, et cetera? So that we'll have to see. But as far as the schedule for the week, tonight, Peacock, doubleheader. You got Milwaukee, Orlando, Oklahoma City at the Lakers. And no Luka, who aggravated a hamstring. And who knows, he's not playing tonight. Who knows if he's going to play All-Star weekend. And if I'm the Lakers, he's sitting out. I mean, come on. Even though they may have another game later this week, yeah, they play San Antonio the night after on NBA TV with the Clippers in Houston. Same deal there, NBA TV. But, yeah, if I'm Luka, I'd sit out. There's no way I'm playing in that All-Star game. Detroit at Charlotte, that's tonight. Doesn't sound like a bad game now after all. And let's see how they stack up against the Pistons. So that'd be interesting. Utah, Miami, games of note. Atlanta, Minnesota, Cleveland at Denver tonight. Memphis at Golden State. Philly at Portland. Tomorrow we got Pacers Knicks. Certainly a far cry from the Eastern Conference Final last year. Dallas at Phoenix is the other game with the other two that I mentioned on NBA TV. And then ESPN, your double dip is Knicks and Philly. San Antonio at Golden State. Sandwiched in between. Milwaukee, Orlando, Chicago, Boston. Oh, so Indiana's at New York over those next 2 days. They're playing Brooklyn on Wednesday. Detroit at Toronto. Clippers in Houston. OKC at Phoenix. Memphis, Denver. And then Thursday, even though we'll be on the podcast Thursday, the 2 games on Prime. Milwaukee at OKC. Dallas at the Lakers. Portland at Utah. That is your NBA schedule before All-Star Weekend commences just days away. As far as the college basketball, I'm going to get into that more, people. I know the big game over the weekend was St. John's beating UConn, the number 3 UConn at the Garden. There on Friday night, what was it, 82-71, I think was the final. And like I said, college is going to carry us through, especially once we get into March with the conference tournaments, the at-large bids, the Selection Sunday, which is March 15th. The tournament will begin 2 days later on St. Patty's Day, where you have the first 4, that playing tournament there on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the tournament in earnest will start that Thursday. So we'll have plenty to get into with the college basketball. I'm going to hold off on that for now. And with the NHL, I did say this on Thursday's podcast as I laced up my skates. This will be really quick, though, people, before I get into a couple other things, and then I'll wrap it up with the podcast, and I'll get to your questions, comments, whatever you posted. I promise I'll get to those. As far as the NHL, I know I said on Thursday I was going to do a first half overview, although they played more than half their schedule. I'm going to save for Thursday only because obviously the football, the Super Bowl dominated the majority of this podcast, but I'll get into the NHL then, just to give you an overview. And then when we get to the back end of the Olympics and when the NHL season is going to resume, I'll look into my crystal ball to see where we're at, because I believe the NHL's probably played 2/3 of their games right now, if I'm not mistaken. So really, it's a 2/3 look of the season, and then there'll be a 1/3 crystal ball look. And right now, I know that not everybody's played 58 games. Red Wings have played 58. A lot have played 57, I see. Islanders have played 58, so they played 2/3. Minnesota Wild. A lot are in the 56, 57 range, but you get my drift. So we'll look at it as more of a 2/3 season look and then a 1/3 after that. But I'll spare you guys for that on Thursday's podcast, just to kind of walk us through what has gone on, what has transpired, et cetera, where we look at as far as not even playoffs. I mean, we could take a look at the wild card standings because, again, the season isn't going to resume until the 25th, which right now, what is that? The 25th, that's a Wednesday, I believe, right? Is that a Wednesday? Because if I do my math correctly, the 9th and 2 days of the 11th. Yeah, so the season's not going to pick up until 2 weeks from this coming Wednesday. So we got plenty of time to talk about the NHL. And, yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit come Thursday. All right, now I'm going to – I don't even know how to even put this. Put on my skis, put on my ice skates, get in my bobsled. I'm going to talk a little Winter Olympics. Now, have I watched anything or followed it? I saw a little bit of the ice skating on Saturday night. I know that the U.S. won a gold for their team. I know Japan was in the lead. I saw a little bit of that Saturday. I know the big news coming out of the Olympics here is what happened with Lindsey Vonn. And I think that happened Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. But Lindsey Vonn, and I'm going to say this right off the bat, and I don't care what people say, what people think, et cetera, so on and so forth. For her to go out there on a torn ACL, and sadly she broke her leg, I believe, and she had surgery, had to be airlifted, et cetera. Not a great scene, as you know. But you know what? She has the heart the size of this planet. And I get it. You could say she's a little cuckoo. You could say she's a little crazy for going out there on a torn ACL and literally risking her limbs for a chance to represent her country and win a gold medal. You could say that. But guess what? This is where we revere athletes in that regard. When we look at Kobe Bryant, when he blew out his Achilles and said, I'm going to shoot these 2 free throws before I walk off into the locker room knowing that his season was done. Or the likes of Tiger Woods playing on a bad knee in his own right in the U.S. Open in 2008. I believe that was at Torrey Pines. Oh, no, maybe that was at Pebble Beach. I think it was Pebble Beach against Rocco Mediate when literally he was on one leg and he won the U.S. Open in a playoff the next day. Or Phillip Rivers tearing an ACL in the divisional round in 2007 against the Colts, where 6 days or 7 days later against the Patriots, that was when they went to the Super Bowl 42 when they were 18-0, how he played on a torn ACL. And we marvel, we applaud, we love to see that about our athletes. Why is this any different? Lindsey Vonn, one more time. Lindsey Vonn, you get my props. And I understand you're not going to see it throughout. Very unfortunate, but she gets my respect. And I understand for some people say, oh, she shouldn't have done it. Or did she go against doctor's orders? I'm sure she didn't, because if she did, then that'd even add more to her legend. I get it. But we don't know that. I know I'm not privy to it. Maybe the doctor said, no, you shouldn't go out there, but she said, the hell with it. I'm doing it. And all I can say is kudos. She went out there and tried. And even if she didn't go out there and try, people would say, oh, I understand she has a torn ACL. I get it. Because how many people on the planet are going to do that other than maybe Phillip Rivers? But that was the big story. And the figure skating, I haven't gotten into any like the snowboarding and the women's hockey. I don't even think the men's hockey started yet. Maybe it starts today. I don't even know. But as you know, I'm not much of an Olympic guy. I may follow it a little bit more because there's literally going to be nothing in the sports landscape. Or obviously if there's going to be a developing story or something that maybe an underdog that's going to come out of nowhere to win a gold or something like that, I'll be on top of. But that's what I got with the Olympics, people. I really don't have much to add to that. So, but I'll be as best as possible when it comes to doing that. And then I know, listen, I haven't skipped over all this. Here we go. Anyone watching the Olympics? All right, one last thing. Let's get to it. Pitchers and catchers report on Wednesday, people. That's right. Is anybody ready for baseball? This guy is. Now, listen, we're still ways off from the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League starting games. I believe they may start the same day as the NHL season, maybe the 25th or maybe the 22nd. I don't know. And not that anybody's going to care because it's still going to be frigid in the Northeast. I don't even think it's hit above freezing. Maybe it did one day. Maybe it was Wednesday or Thursday, but I think it was probably at freezing. We're finally going to hit the 40s later on the week. So old man winter is going to be around, I think, for quite some time. So we're going to have that to deal with. But at least when we see the pitchers and catchers, and we've seen pitchers report. Me being the Met fan, you see Nolan McLean wearing the number 13, I might add, which I was a little bit surprised. I changed his number from last year. And you see Francisco Lindor down there early, and I'm sure a lot of the Yankees and other ball players have trickled down to whether it be Florida or Arizona. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready for it. So let's go. Still got a ways to go. We got, about 7 weeks to the start of the baseball season? 7 weeks, I believe, from this coming Thursday. Let me pull up my calendar just to double check because I believe, and that's what, the 26th. I believe that's when the baseball season begins. As I pull up my calendar here, doing this live. Because I know how am I in Cinco de Mayo? Man, I scrolled that pretty quick. Yeah, the season begins in earnest on the 26th. Now, I don't know if there's any games that are in Korea or Japan that's early on. That would be the week before. I'm sure the Dodgers are involved. But be that as it may, I'll be ready for it. Little news and notes from Major League Baseball. I know that Tarek Skubal won his arbitration case, $32 million. Kudos to him. But we all know he's going to either go to the highest bidder by the time we get to the trade deadline or the highest bidder when we get to the post, or not even the postseason, the off season. But you also got to remember with an asterisk that the collective bargaining agreement is up on December 1st of this year. So I'm sure that if they don't come to an agreement before then, nobody's even going to go near Tarek Skubal to sign him to a long-term deal. So something to think about. Remember, they signed Framber Valdez as insurance, knowing that Skubal's going to be out the door. And obviously, Valdez is nowhere in the stratosphere of Tarek Skubal, but he has a World Series on his mantle, has pitched in big games, can be a big-time pitcher. I don't think he's a big-time pitcher, but you got that going for you if you're looking at the Skubal case for him, whether he's going to be dealt or wait till the offseason to see what's going to happen here. And I don't think there's been any talks between the owners and the player reps, whether that be Tony Clark and the attorney's name, who I always seem to forget. But we all know Scott Boras is the guy that's behind the wheel when it comes to the players. So keep an eye on that. Yankees re-signed Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, what do I say about that? Okay, he's 38, 39 years of age. He's a veteran, professional hitter, insurance. I don't know. I don't know what his deal's going to be. Is Ben Rice going to be your full-time first base? I don't know. But all right, kudos to the Yankees and re-upping on Paul Goldschmidt. And then did you see this with Emmanuel Clase about he had rigged pitches in 48 games last year? It just boggles my mind whether your name is Emmanuel Clase, Luis Ortiz, his teammate there with the Guardians, or even Terry Rozier. They would have to back up the Brinks truck in order for me to even think about rigging pitches or throwing up bricks. I don't care. Hey, we just deposited $200,000 in your account. We want you to throw up some bricks or walk the ballpark, whatever it is. Come on. No, I need to see 9 figures. I mean, we may not even start. We'll probably start at $50 million. How about that? And no taxes. You want me to throw pitches? All right, fine. I'll throw all my integrity, all my dignity. I'll throw it all out and sell out for the $50 million. But really, you're doing this for tens of thousands, maybe hundreds or $100,000? Make it make sense. All right, people. That is going to be not it just yet. I'm going to get to the comments. I see 67 of them. I appreciate you guys and gals for hopping on board, for sticking with me throughout. So let's go to the very, very top. Let's see. I know all the good mornings and hellos, everybody. My guy, and this is Vladislav from Serbia. Internet is breaking. I didn't catch more than half the live. Let's do the same thing again on a new live. Anybody have connection? Oh, no. Did anybody have connection issues? Let's go, Bio. All right. Super was awesome. Seahawks won. Yes, they did. All right, let's see. All right, listen. Minnesota Fats. Google Translate Bad Bunny lyrics from Super Bowl halftime. I had to wash my eyes out. Terrible halftime show for America. All right. It's your opinion. Oh, look at this. Amin Ali, I guess how you pronounce it. Hi from Kurdistan. Welcome. I don't know if you're still with us, but I appreciate you stopping on board, hopping on board. I can't even speak here. My apologies. Turning Point USA, wonderful halftime show. I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you, Fishing Angel. Patriots didn't do anything. You're absolutely right about that. Toastmasters watch the Super Bowl. I'm sorry that the NFL did not protect your innocence and ruined your childhood. Oh, by what they saw? What was offensive about that? Minnesota? I don't know. I didn't see it. No offense to fans, anyone that watch, but straight garbage to the NFL. Listen, put it this way. It's going to get worse, people, before it gets better. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, the school kids are singing that. Teachers have the teachers are the hardest jobs. That's for damn sure. Renee Rivas, all right. I hear that. Is that directed to me? Minnesota Fat says nothing to do with slapping Americans in the face. That garbage, man. High world ratings. Good Goodell. No, well, that's it. They know he's a major star, and they put him on there. And what could you say? Record next season, overseas games. And I know the overseas games. You and I are in the same boat when it comes to that, J-Rod. I said a week ago Kenneth Walker was the key to the game. And yes, dominated. Sean, you're laughing. I know. I don't know which one you're laughing at. the comments, my comments, whatever. I know this is over an hour ago, or just about. I don't know if you're still with us, but thank you for hopping on board. Pretty sure I could have blocked better than the Pats last night. Oh, yeah, no, terrible. Like in the commercial. Go in, J-Rod. Gerardo, go Seahawks. He's representing the blue and green I see there in his photo. Portnoy crying on YouTube. Yes. Yeah, Portnoy's a fool. I mean, have a little class, have a little dignity with your fan. I mean, come on. When he's flashing his rings, hey, we can't take it for granted, Pats fans. I know we're spoiled with this, with that. Come on. Union Ash 1, welcome. I may never see the Bills win a Super Bowl, but a Patriots Super Bowl loss next best thing. Yeah, oh, yeah, you couldn't have said that better. It was Cup. Boozer, what's happening? It was Cup, and they called it incomplete. Yeah, it was Cup on that first drive. And, yeah, it looked like it was moving. Give it up. That was a great drive. Oh, that was a great play by Sam Darnold to not have the Patriots throw the challenge flag. Ran up to the line of scrimmage and did what he had to do. Seriously, amazing. Glad they won. Yes, they were. Their defense was crazy. Yes. Puerto Rico on the house. Didn't watch a second and a halftime show. Don't speak Spanish, so why would I? And I hear you, J-Rod. Seahawks won. Yes. Halftime show for 20 was freaking amazing. I didn't see, so I do not know. They love us to – hey, good time. What's that say? Oh, good time. All right, I was looking at your that was about it. It's working. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but yeah. Should not be that way, which is a joke, but yeah. He completely undermined the Super Bowl. It's not about him. Wait, who are you talking about? We're talking about the game? Lendl? Is that Yvonne Lendl? That was like that's a Texas Longhorn. Lendl, shout out. That's Real American Music, K-Rock, Brantley. Fishing Angel, I never heard of Brantley Gilbert or Lee Brice. If they would have knocked on this door, opened it, I swear to you, I wouldn't know. Kid Rock, of course, I know who he is, but those other two guys, they could have fallen on me. I wouldn't know who they are. And listen, I'm just speaking as I know. Wait, what is this? Oh, I read that one already. Nothing wrong with school kids singing Bad Bunny at school. Geez, Minnesota fast Spanish-speaking kids don't need sympathy. My daughter speaks Spanish as I do. No, I hate you, Minnesota. No, listen. I get it. Let me see. Reed Dion. Michael Jackson, best Super Bowl halftime? I disagree. That belongs to the purple one, in my eyes. And listen, no, if you feel that he's the best one, I'll give it to you. And you know what? I watched that not too long ago, and I didn't think it was that great. I did not think it was that great. It was almost like, it was kind of, I don't want to say cringy. I don't want to go that far, but that was during the 90, that was, I believe, Dallas, Buffalo. I think it was the 92 season, 93 Super Bowl. Well, hang on. NBC had to censor. Oh, because that was in the lyrics. Yeah, I know. But listen, they did that. You did Kendrick Lamar. We could go back to all these Minnesota, so it's not even just him. Whether it was, what about the Super Bowl in SoFi a few years ago when it was all LA? It was Dre, Snoop, Eminem, 50 Cent. I mean, come on. You think that wasn't bleep left and right? So it doesn't matter. It could be Katy Perry. It could be whomever else is singing that has bad lyrics. They're going to bleep that. The Weeknd, they may have bleeped some of his songs. When he did it the year of, here goes my itchy nose again. When he did it the year of the Tampa, Kansas City Super Bowl. I speak French, Italian, Spanish, English. This is okay for Bad Bunny's trying to be another daddy. Seriously, I like that. Wow, you speak 4 languages? I'm impressed. I love that. That's another thing I didn't know about you that I know. Good for you. Much respect. Fishing Angel. And, you know, obviously, shout out to you and J-Rod, of course. But, wow. Yeah, I know. And then they started playing Gasolina, too. I know you didn't watch, but, yeah. And I was like, oh, no, is Daddy Yankee coming out? But he didn't come out. And Daddy Yankee's another one. Again, playing the backyard, drawing the blinds. Wife, not so much. She may watch, but no. Sorry. What's next? Oh, here we go. Bio. And the biggest sports fan alive. Could kill us. Happens that. Like singing. I keep it simple. No doubt. Bio. That's why we're all here. We're all kooks. That's why I love you. And yeah, again, and that's the thing. I can't specify it enough. It doesn't matter who's performing at halftime. Whether Madonna performed at halftime one year, Beyonce performed at halftime one year, Bruno Mars. I wouldn't watch Bruno Mars, sorry. But Bruno Mars could be performing right now. I'd do the show in the bedroom. Straight up. And it's no offense to Bruno Mars. I know I've said this earlier. I'm not trying to rehash this, whatever. That's just me. That's just me. If there were other, listen, now I got to go back. I'm going to sound like an old man. If with some of the groups that I follow and like whatever, and some of them are deceased, so unless they come back and from the dead and perform, then all right, I'm all about it. But why was the halftime show highest rated? Simple, performer was more world-based. Jay, that's it. 100%. Jay hit around the head. Turning Point USA got a lot of likes. The halftime show deserve it. Yeah, I haven't followed it, so I really don't know, Fishing Angel. All I care about is if my team wins. Yep, I could care less about players, believe how they act, will feel, blah, blah, blah. I know. Same thing. And not to open up these cans of worms, whatever, but do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? Not to rehash this. No, I'm not going to rehash it. No, I won't rehash it. That's it. I just care about my team wins. I could care less. I mean, if the player was the Grinch and he had the green costume on, if he had a baseball, if he could catch a football and all that, and he's on my team, let's go. End of story. I could care less. There's a time and place for everything. Why did the NFL make it sexual and nasty for families? Can we keep the Super Bowl? No, listen, Minnesota, I get that. But guess what? Did you watch the Super Bowl with Shakira and J-Lo? Listen, they weren't wearing Little House on the Prairie outfits. I mean, not that they were scantily clad, but that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in, unfortunately. I mean, right. It's not going to be wholesome family entertainment. And I thought last night, even watching that, I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, it wasn't if the camera was up super close up on rumps. I kind of hate to use that word like that, but it wasn't it. And again, you didn't see bikinis, you didn't see women half naked. I mean, they had, I guess it looked like short skirts. I don't even know what it was. Because to me, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm watching it, but it's not like, oh, well, I mean, unless they had a thong or something, then I can be like, oh, okay, all right. But I hate you, Minnesota, and I respect that. I do. You know me. There you go. Jay. Jay is he's got it. He's bullseye. If the halftime social history, you know why. That's it. Just like if people listen to me in the first hour and I'm killing the Patriots and they're a Patriot fan and they're watching and they couldn't take it and they want to switch, they can do whatever they want. I understand the truth hurts. But you guys know me. I'm just calling it like I see it. This isn't pom-poms for this, pom-poms for that. No. Not at all. Oh, good afternoon. Yes, Fishing Angel. And then J-Rod. I agree. Nothing against Bad Bunny as fans. I don't speak Spanish. That means it's not my jam. Again, it's not simple. There you go. That's it. And of course, there's people that are gonna use it to their own whatever. And listen, if they said the same thing I say, I wouldn't watch that guy if he's in my backyard or whatever, so on and so forth. You got to chuckle out of it. All right, fine. But then when it gets personal, when it gets to a thing where it's like, oh, that's to me, that's when it draws the line. Listen, I get it. Minnesota, a.k.a. Rhoda Penmark, a.k.a. Cow Bull Bui, a.k.a. Dad Ships, Tatsuma Mai. Listen, understood. I would never, ever come out unless I just thought it was just outlandish. And I'd still be respectful. You know that. But everybody has a right to speak their mind and feel, whatever. I'm not going to come out here, oh, you guys, you missed the point, oh, this and that. And just like I said in the first hour, when you watch the show, it was all inclusive. It was all about love. That's it. And just like Fishing Angel watched the Kid Rock halftime, I'm sure that was all love or whatever. Fantastic. I'm not going to be like, oh, Fishing Angel, how could you watch that? Or Minnesota Fats, you don't know what he's talking about. No. I mean, come on. Seriously? But there's people that are out there that go look at that and say, oh, well, I guess you must be this. Oh, you must be that. And listen, I can't get wrapped up in that. Unless they're going to put it out there for me to see. And it's like, then you get called out on it. So like if some clown came in the room and says, oh, whatever, they need to, I don't know. They say something that's stupid or something that's outrageous, then I got to get called on it. But people are just going to share their thoughts and feelings, opinions, and hey, I'm all about it. You know me. I'm old. I don't listen to any of these singers. Yeah, listen, Bio, you and I included. Taylor Swift, she can perform right here, right now. And I kind of hate to use this. Well, I'll use it in this way. My head could be on the chopping block. Could I name 5 Taylor Swift songs? I'll be sweating when I get to the third one. I'll tell you that. And it's nothing personal. I got none against her. What has she done to me that is like would make me like have disdain for her? Nothing. She's a megastar. It doesn't do it for me. That's it. That's that. So listen, I'm with you. And a lot of these, and no offense to the, what's the girl's name? The Sabrina Carpenters of the world and the Olivia Rodrigos and the Bruno Marses. And hey, they're successful. Have at it. Do you? I get it. Sorry. And I'm not bumping that music in my car either. Oh, I see an old name that I haven't seen in a while. Oh, my goodness. But let's agree to disagree. If you were next to me, I would shake your hand. We don't have to see eye to eye. No, of course. That's what it's all about. As long as the love is in the room, that's it. And hopefully one day, we'll all be in the same room. I know my nose is itching. It's just bothering me here. I don't know. Do I have something? Is there maybe somebody thinking about me? I don't know. Adam Dooley. I go way back with this guy. I don't know if he's still on with us. Having a blast watching and listening today. Only co-part of the show. Keep it up, brother. Cheers. Adam Dooley is a former co-worker. I go back to the late 1980s. Lives out in LA. Lives out in your neck of the woods, Bio. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to his lovely wife, Doreen, who I didn't work with her, but worked in the same facility. Shout out to her. Marquise, Detroit. I don't know if you're still with us, but shout out to you. J-Rod, like I always say, just because we can't see eye to eye don't mean I can't respect it. That's it. I mean, the sun still came up today, even after bad performance. Okay, people, life goes on. We have a whole year to complain about. That's it. And right, watch it be the K-pop demon hunters or whatever. And if it is, again, I'm not going to hate on them. I'm not going to hate on their whatever. I mean, who knows? I just, it's just crazy what people will do to just put out hate. And it just, come on. Yes, they did. Yes, I know. Bio, UCLA over Michigan women's basketball. Yeah, I don't know if you follow the women's game. And I don't follow the women's. I know I should be more on top of it. But I do not. I know. Bad job on my part. So people could get at me if they want. Bio, Mara, the transfer from UCLA, monster game, career high in points. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't followed the women's game. Yes, this Saturday. I did see that. By 35. All right. I started watching Run Nation, New Sports Combat on Kick to overcome the sports dead zone. New Sports Combat. What is that? Is that like a hybrid UFC kickboxing? Run Nation. I'm thinking it's a running channel. If that's it, then I'll start watching that. I was hoping UCLA could at least lose by less than 20. Yeah. No, I know Michigan. I think they're the front runner to win the whole thing. I know Arizona, but still, Lindsey Vonn crashed hard in the Olympics, airlifted. I know that was terrible. Fishing Angel. Oh, you know who Lindsey Vonn is? Fishing Angel. She used to go out with Tiger Woods, I believe, and PK Subban, the former hockey player. Michigan basketball, go time. Purdue. Oh, at Duke. Oh, okay. At Duke. I didn't realize they played him that late in the season. Interesting. Yeah, no, she really crashed big time. 26-12. All right. Oh, women's hockey's on right now? Oh, the Olympics though, right? J-Rod? I was so into Mara. I followed him in Spain before he went to UCLA. Broke heart and left. Yeah, I know. I haven't watched. Got to get back on it here. Let's see. Uh-oh, Mr. J Plays. I don't know if you're still with us. What time was that? 12:11? It's 13 minutes ago. If you're still with us, Mr. J Plays. That name does sound familiar. I'm looking at your what's called as a question mark. I kind of like that avatar. I do remember. Oh, look who's there. Casual Gamer. What is going on? I'm doing well, Casual. I'm with everybody here in the room. So it's all love. So I didn't see Michael Jackson before. I did. I saw that. I believe that was Super Bowl 27, Dallas Buffalo. It was 90, the 92 season, 93. I did see it. No, and Michael Jackson, it was good. But when you think of Michael Jackson, you just think of like, and I thought he was good. I didn't think he was great. So yeah, I'm not trying to say Michael Jackson was bad during that performance. Because I know he popped up from the stage. And I couldn't remember the songs for the life of me what he's saying. And listen, Michael Jackson at his apex, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue who was the best. All right, here we go. Politicians have tried. All right, Reed. Tried forced agendas and issues. That last comment, Reed, you are spot on. That, I give it to you 1,000%. For that, I give you props. Yeah, they just want to get involved in sports. They want to get involved, and I'll use this as an example. All right, and this is safe. When Congress tried to get into the whole steroid thing, I mean, seriously, do we really have to go there? And Rafael Palmeiro looking like a fool. I did not use steroids. I mean, but right, when they try to get their foot involved and try to stick their nose into the sports world, it's like, stay away. We don't need you here. There's no need for you to be around. Adios. Scram. Yeah. How about making sure that we get our house in order, meaning this country in order, instead of, no, I'm not going there. But yeah, that last comment I like. No, what you said too, as far as try to force agendas, you're absolutely right on that too. The last one really just sticks out for me. I haven't watched Super Bowl halftime in 10 years, if not longer. Wow. I'm a rock and blues and Southern rock fan. I hear you, Robert. I get you. And that's all good. If it's still with us, 12:19. Oh, you should still be around, I hope. Rob, so 10 years longer. So that's what? This is Super Bowl 60. Did you watch the Coldplay one? If not longer. Because Coldplay had, Beyonce was in that. Coldplay was okay. I remember Super Bowl 40 20 years ago was the Rolling Stones. Yeah, and they're not going to really have blues or Southern rock. Because a lot of the great Southern rock bands, whether it's Leonard Skinner or the Allman Brothers, I mean, a lot of those guys aren't around. But I hear you. Yo, I'm James. I'm good. How are you? Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thinking of me. Thanks, man. I appreciate you hopping on board. What's this? Thanks for your support. I have 7. Oh, really? No way. Is that right? You got 41 more subs from a K-pop Demon Hunter short? Good for you, man. Hey, keep grinding. This YouTube stuff is not for the weak. Good for you. Reed Dion. Bare knuckle fighting has become popular again. There was what's the name of it? I got to watch it too. Anybody know who Billy Corbin is? The independent filmmaker, is documentarian more so. He directed a film called Cocaine Cowboys. He did The U for ESPN. He also did Broke, which was very good. If you could find that. He also did Screwball, which I want to watch. That's the whole A-Rod, the biogenesis. As I use the word bio. There's only one bio in this room. The biogenesis in Florida with, what's the guy's name? Not Victor Conti. He was Balco. Geez. Well, anyway, he directed these movies, Billy Corbin, and he directed one, I believe it's called Dogfight, DAWG Fight, where they did a lot of the backyard brawling in South Florida because he's a Miami native. And he had Kimbo Slice, rest in peace. I think it was a part of that. I haven't seen it. I want to watch that. But that's just something maybe during the slow time. Oh, women's hockey's on right now. All right, Reed. Well, I watched NBA All-Star Weekend. I cannot. It's rough. It's nothing but a layup, slam dunk line, and 3-point shooting from. Forget about from the logo from half court, which is the logo when you think about it. But yeah, I probably won't watch. I haven't watched an All-Star game from start to finish in forever. And that's just being truthful. Maybe Sunday night, if there's nothing on, I'll pop it on. Maybe, but just for a little bit. But yeah, chances are I probably won't watch. Run Nation is Oklahoma drills, strong muscle men running full speed, no patch, human car wreck. Oh, geez. Oh, wait a minute. Is that like what's that show that Hunter McIntyre was on? Where they have it looks like it's out in the West somewhere, and they have like that ring and they kind of battle it out. I forgot the name of the show. Reed, 3-point slam dunk contest. Yeah, the dunk contest is a joke. I'd rather watch the 3-point than the slam dunk, to be honest, but I'm on curling on right now, women's hockey, 240. Did anyone notice? Well, at least I thought there were a lot of commercials about medicine. Oh, yeah, there was quite a few, and I wanted to do a count of that, but of course, I've lost count. Yeah, I saw a Wegovy one. Who's doing the Wegovy? Oh, my God, yeah, I can't. Oh. I have to put this out there, people. You want to talk about if this guy, and he himself wouldn't do the whole Super Bowl halftime? Now I'm going to give him, I got to talk about it now. If DJ Khaled was at a Super Bowl halftime, oh my goodness. I wouldn't forget about changing the channel. I turn the TV off. Straight up. I'm not a DJ Khaled fan. And there he is for Wegovy. This is the same guy that was doing Weight Watchers and all this other stuff. That guy's the biggest clown. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. Anyway. But yeah, there are a lot of those commercials. And that's the thing. That's why I love that commercial with the Mike Tyson with the no processed foods. realfood.org. I'm going to see if I can record that. I'm going to post that on my socials because, yeah. And you know me. By the way, Fishing Angel, I just tapped out on my water. And listen, not that I'm a nutritionist, dietitian. I'm not licensed, none of that. But, you know, you watch what you eat, watch what you drink. You want to live long, be healthy, robust. Yeah. Eating that garbage. The other stuff, what do they have? Dave's Hot Chicken. And I don't know, did McDonald's have a commercial or Burger King? I probably Burger King did. They always have commercials. Yeah, I know, and he's gonna actually be in a 3-point shooting contest. That I don't understand either. Like, why is he doing that? I know he tore his Achilles first in the playoffs last year. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm the Trailblazers, I wouldn't like that. And not to say you could tear an Achilles going from one station to the next shooting threes, but you know what, Reed? I'm with you on that. That's not, you know what that's equivalent to? I hate to say it. And I know the first year he won the slam dunk competition, he was in the league with the Sixers, and then the next 2 years he was in the G League. But Mac McClung, that's another one. And he's not doing it this year, as you know. I'm sure you know. And I like McClung. He was a Georgetown guy before he went to Texas Tech, and I love Georgetown. But come on. Thankfully, he won as a member of the Sixers, and that's the only reason why he came back. But yeah, that's like having a guy in the G League beat in a dunk competition. Like what? The guy's not even on an NBA roster. You're going to put him on, and this guy had an Achilles injury. Now he's going to be. And I understand he's Damian Lillard. It's not. Yeah, I mean, call me old school. I don't know, but yeah, I don't like that either. Good one, Reed. I like that. Yes, sir. And 5K views. Good for you, on James. Oh, did you really? I appreciate you. I gotta go back and watch that. When did you release that? Wow, that's crazy. Good for you, man. Good for you. I was watching Pinocchio yesterday with my 8-year-old daughter during the Super Bowl. No, I hear that. Good for you, Bio. Hey, listen. Good for you. Hey, you didn't miss much. So, as I'm sure you know by now. But no, that's nice. Good for you, man. I would love if they had Blackberry Smoke or Marcus King as halftime show. Billy Strings, the great bluegrass performer. I can see that. And right, you know what? Hey, if they played some blues, I'm down for that. Bringing some of the, but I understand it's not going to move the needle. That's the thing. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar, Bad Bunny. I understand Taylor Swift, but she hasn't performed at the Super Bowl halftime. Those artists are going to move the needle. And yeah, I mean, it's sadly, that's the NFL in the direction that they're going. I mean, yeah. I'm with you, Rob. I understand. Just want to say hi. Keep grinning too. Thanks, Unc. Without a doubt. Oh, I see you, Reed. Hold on. I was 8 and still remember the episode of In Living Color for the halftime show. Oh, that's right. I remember that when they did a halftime show. Yes. Wait, that was what year was that? That must have been the 96 Super Bowl. Green Bay, New England? Because Fox got the game. Fox first got the NFC package in 94. That Super Bowl was on ABC. That was Michaels. The next year was NBC because that was Steelers Cowboys. That was Emberg. And then Fox had it that year. I do vaguely remember that. Wait, you said you were 8J? But wait, you're 42. So maybe 92? No, Fox got the package in 94. Interesting. But I remember them doing a halftime show. You're right about that. Did he get signed by the Bulls? I didn't even know that. Good for you, Reed. I wasn't on top of that. Saturday was an alien kissing a human short. All right, I'm going to watch that. I'll like it and I'll comment on it too. Saturday. All right. Val B. Your neck of the woods was crazy yesterday, right? Or not too far because the game was in Santa Clara. 2 people walking and shows your name. Shows my name on a shirt? Oh, I definitely got to watch that then. J-Rod 92. Let me think. In Living Color was on Fox, though. Oh, I know what they did. They showed it. No, right. You're right about that. Whatever the 92, was that the Michael Jackson one or maybe the one before? Yeah, they did their own halftime show separately. I thought that, I misunderstood you. My apologies. I thought that you were saying that In Living Color was the halftime show during the Fox broadcast. Yes, they did have their own halftime show, and kudos to them. And that was before the halftime show was even anything big. But right, excellent call on that, Jay. An Indian couple? Oh, man, I got to watch this. Men on Films, yes. From India. Wait a minute, and they had a shirt with my name on it? No. Was that AI? Oh, my God. Wait, I got to check did my subscribers go up? That'd be awesome if it did. I don't think it did. Let me see. Men on Films. Yeah, Men on Films. You also had Homie the Clown, Fire Marshal Bill. Fire Marshal Bill. And then you had, what was Jamie Foxx's character? Oh, man, I can't remember. Nah, In Living Color was great. Yeah, as J-Rod says. Absolutely. Oh, you watched the Olympics there, Val. What do you think? Thoughts? Yep, Fire Marshal Bill. Of course, Val showing love to everybody in the room. I love it. Yes, Reed. In Living Colors was excellent. I agree. Keenan Ivory Wayans. You predicted it too? Yes. What year did Prince do the halftime show? 2007. February 4th, 2007. Reed, check it on YouTube if you haven't. I'm telling you. I mean, that was deep. I mean, come on. I think about it now, and I'm just... First of all, it rained throughout. Number 2, he had these 2 dancers with like 6-inch heels on a slick surface. Prince was out there playing electric guitar. You see the rain. Now, it wasn't like a thunderstorm rain, but you could steady rain. He started off with Let's Go Crazy. Then I think he did Baby I'm a Star. And then after that, he did All on the Watchtower. Did he do Proud Mary? I think he did Proud Mary, and then he did The Best of You by Foo Fighters. Before going into, geez, what did he do? I know he ended with Purple Rain, but I mean, come on. Jeez. Yes, AI and other supporters on the short, it appears. Wait, and this is on your channel? You got to tag me on that. Oh, Unc, you leaving? All right. Talk to you later. Wait a minute. So there's a video out of an Indian couple, and it's on your channel. All right. You put it out Saturday. I can't wait to see it. That is going to be bananas. Think about this. AI. I know I have like a big pause right now because I almost can't fathom it. Wow. We need to get you to 2K. Oh, Unc James, please. And if anything, I will definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I got to check to see how many people. Yeah, imagine if I go and I see my subscribers and now like 1,500. Yeah, I mean, no, if that's the case, people probably would have been buzzing my tower by now. But yo, Unc James, yes, 2K and beyond. So many great actors on Living Color. Rosie Perez, Jim Carrey, Jennifer Lopez. Yes, backup dancer. Yep. Also, the other girl. Wasn't the other girl that's on the other dancer on the Fly Girls? Doesn't she do the Dancing with the Stars? Isn't she a judge on that? I forgot her name. Carrie. I think Carrie Ann Moss. And it's not her. That's the actress, of course. Yeah, please tag me on that. I got to see this. Crazy. Giants Ravens Super Bowl was on my birthday that year. Yes, yesterday's game reminded me a lot of that game. Yeah, because their defense was dominant. And to think they would have had that game would have had another touchdown, but they called it back on the holding. Kenneth Walker, what do you end with 135 yards? And that last touchdown that was called back, wasn't it like 60 yards? You could have had almost 200 yards. Bananas. All right, guys. So before I sign off, I'm curious. So that was your podcast, and then the questions after. Got to get your thoughts before I sign off here. Because I'm doing this little test run where I get to do my podcast, but then on top of that, I'll go through all the comments and stuff afterwards, and then close it out just like a Wednesday live stream. And of course, Wednesday, I go back to the usual, pick out topics, whatever, talk about it. I'll go through the comments while it's happening, where here, I do the podcast part first, and then secondly, take care of the comments, questions, etc. So, you just tagged me? Bet. J-Rod, you're out. Appreciate you. And Fishing Angel. Shout out to both of you as always. You know that. Love your participation. Love you guys. Everybody that's here, you know I got mad love for everybody. And Unc James, thanks again for tagging me on that. Yeah, I can't wait to peep that. Fishing Angel, yes. You speak 4 languages. I can't believe that. That's so cool. So look at that. You know more Spanish than I do. Oh, my God. What does that say about me? Jeez. Bad job on my part. South Korea in the house. All right, I'm going to call you Double A. How about that? Welcome, South Korea. Thanks for hopping on board. Great show as always. Thank you. Fishing Angel, you know that. Yeah, I wonder where Orange is at. Orange, the Pokemon. And there was another Seahawks fan that was out here. I'm surprised they didn't hop on board today. Shout out to Brent, north of the border. Shout out to James D, a.k.a. JD, a.k.a. Zip Drive 23. Who some of our other regulars that are on here or haven't been on. I know I got my diehards here today, as always. Appreciate you guys. You know that. Of course, Bio. Much love. Minnesota Fats. And Minnesota Fats is in Brooklyn. Minnesota Fats, you still here with us? Curious. And Reed, where you from? Reed Dion. I know, as I wind this down. Let's see, is there anything else I need to post? All right, what's happening in sports? Anything else happened in the last few hours? or at least since I've been on. Let's see. Yeah, what's up with this? Yeah, this is a crazy story. Did you hear about this Falcon player, James Pierce? Now, I believe he was a rookie, wasn't he not? He allegedly crashed his vehicle into one that was driven by a WNBA player, Rukia Jackson. I don't know what teams he plays on. Let me see. Oh, it's on a LA Sparks. But not only that, he hit a car multiple times and then struck a police officer, all while trying to resist arrest. 5 felony charges, aggravated battery. I mean, come on. What is happening with these guys? How are these guys out here just, I don't know. I get it. Everybody's different and, people tick different ways. Yep, Seahawks Rams favorite in wide open Super Bowl 61 field. Why Drake May Patriots could build a dynasty despite rough Super Bowl loss. They better get better receivers and a better offensive line. That's for damn sure. Oh, that was a 6-player trade. This Caleb Durbin. Yeah, I didn't mention that on the baseball segment because, I understand he was third in the Rookie of the Year. Traded in Devin Williams deal. Yeah, that's looking like that's it for sports. Oh, wow. They're bringing this up now. Trial opened in the 2006 killing of Brian Potter. Yeah, that was the defensive lineman. Wow, they're bringing this up now. Jeez, 20 years later. All right, people. Let me see where we're at with the comments, and then I'll bid adieu. Oh, you're here from Minnesota. All right, I have a quick question for you. Baseball related. The Mets. How many games do you go to a year? I'm curious. Because I know you live in Brooklyn. Oh, is that right? Look at this. Val was always on the scoop. I got you, Double A. Give me a second. We're sad to learn the passing of former Washington All-Pro and Super Bowl. Yeah, Barry Wilburn. Yeah, wasn't he a Barry Wilburn? Was he a defensive back? Dies in Memphis house fire. Jeez. Yeah, Milburn played on that. What was that? The first Super Bowl team? No, second one. Yep, I know about it. Yep, defensive back, 8 years in. No, absolutely. Damn, just terrible story. Wow, thoughts, prayers, condolences going to his family. Yeah, and look, he intercepted a pass in that Super Bowl off of John Elway. Yep. Thanks, Val, for that. I appreciate that. You have an accent that I'm not familiar with. Koreans are more exposed to Californian accent. I guess you're from Mass State or Rhode Island. You're a little north there, Double A. New York City. New York. Big city of dreams. Everything in New York ain't always what it seems. Might be fooled if you come from out of town. Down by law, no more way around. Too much, too many people, too much. That's bad. That's an old hip-hop song. All right. Oh, I got you, Minnesota. Hang on. First quarterback from the standout 20 win the Super Bowl. Saw us on next. Yeah. Certainly wasn't Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. Yes, Val. Good one. Went to 12 games last year. I'm going to 4 this year. I do the coat, food, blood drives for free tickets. Good for you. Why not? And all 12 games last year, did you go on the was it all through free tickets or was the majority? I'm curious. Yeah, hopefully we got to meet up one day. We got to meet up. And look at that. It's so funny how you came out before and you said that, and obviously these are things I get to know about you guys and gals. Look, Fishing Angel speaks 4 languages. I didn't realize you were Asian. I never paid for tickets. I love it. I know they're too much. Yeah, it's funny. I'll share this with you real quick, and then I'll start to land this plane because it's almost 1 o'clock. I haven't eaten, and I know I've been talking since 9:45, so I'm going 3 hours. I could keep going forever, as you guys know. And obviously, I'm going to have in 3 weeks my podcast anniversary, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I have credentials for Major League Baseball, and yeah, I got to reach out to them because I hope to get to go to a few games this year. Both Mets, Yankees. I would love to get in those buildings. Hopefully, they look at a guy like me and they'll say, all right, we'll give him a trial run or a shot, whatever, because I understand. Newspaper print is going by the wayside, but here in New York, obviously, the media capital of the world, they have their tried and true baseball guys or even some of the national guys that are going to come in. And here I am, just a podcast host, although once upon a time, when I got these credentials, it was through a former internet radio station called Blog Talk Radio. And still have them. But, yeah, I hope to get into some games this year, to get credentialed, to get the interviews, to report, do all those things. So, yeah, fingers crossed, people, to see if I could do that. And even to go elsewhere, because the good thing is that it's not even just for New York. If I wanted to go to Miami or Philadelphia or Washington to go to a game, I could apply for credentials, but it's whether or not I'm going to get them. So, just thought I'd throw it out there just to keep me in your well wishes. All right, Val, what you got? I thought USA did well in ice skating. Yeah, they actually won a gold for team, I believe. Winter Olympics have Iran, Israel. I saw athletes from there, which I thought was interesting. Yes. No Russian, though, as you all know. IOC banned them because of what's going on in that part of the world. Juan, what is up? Thanks for hopping on board. I'm going to sign off in the next few minutes, but I appreciate you hopping on board. How's it going? How's things in BK? Is the snow melting? Oh, what a mess. I know the snow, it seems like it's melted. It's starting to go away, but this storm that came 15 days ago, I mean, And listen, I'm not trying to rush time. You know me. Let time. Salute to you, Juan. Thank you so much. And Reed. Thank you, man. And listen, I hope you subscribe because I'm going to do a Wednesday live stream, which I do every Wednesday, 12 p.m. I do a podcast pregame, which I'm probably going to do even still every Monday and Thursday before my podcast. But now since I'm putting my podcast live just like today, yeah, please. The more the merrier. And what part of the country or world are you from? I'm curious. Not yet. Still cold. I know. Yeah, the temperature is supposed to get in the 40s by later in the week. As I pull up the weather app. Right now it's 26, which that's actually balmy. I know Friday night, it was 5 degrees with a wind chill 13, which I know for some people, I'm sure for whatchamacallit, for J-Rod and Fishing Angel, that's like summer. Yeah, it's 26 feels like 26. That's actually warm for today. But, 37, 33, 33. So it's going to break. Wednesday, it's going to get over freezing. And it's still over freezing at 33, of course. And then in the 40s by the weekend. And then low 40s next week. All right, bring it on. So we shall see. Oh, you're from Illinois. Nice. Are you near Chicago? Just out of curiosity. And Reed, yeah, man, welcome. Welcome aboard. Jay, remember I was close to Super Bowl prediction? 30 points. Yeah, you did say that. I picked 27-16. That was my final. Almost. Yeah, almost. Get close. Minus 28. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's brutal. I didn't join. That's all right, Val. Hey, anytime you hop on board, it's all good. Northwest of Chicago. All right. So I take it you're a Bear fan? Bears, Bulls. I don't know if you're Northwest. I know Wrigley is northeast, right? Because south side is White Sox. But Fishing Angel, you got? People need to stop. People need to stop being so judgmental. That's why our world is the way it is. Yes. Agreed. So yes, absolutely. So you're fans of all those Cubs too, or White Sox? No, Fishing Angel, I agree. And that's the part. Everybody's judgmental. Everybody's like, oh, well, because you don't like what I like, you're a bad person. What? It's yeah. Cubs should have a big year this year. No, Gonzalez had a great game last night. Those pass defenses that he had, I mean, terrific. Yeah, if I had to pick best corner right now, is he the guy? I don't think he is the best corner. It's got to be Patrick Surtain. Gonzalez is in the top 3, I would say. Surtain, I think, is 1, though. Saves touchdowns, yeah. Absolutely. As my puppy's having a dream, I hear a tail smacking up against the floor there. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready to land this plane. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you taking the time out. All that, you already know. No, he's actually drafted. I'll whisper this, by Ohio State. What is it, that 3rd or 4th year, maybe? So, no, he's been around for a minute. Yeah, so I'll whatever last-minute comments, I'll be sure to acknowledge, but I'll start to wrap it up. That'll do it, my good people. My first live podcast episode in the books. One more time, I thank you so much for stopping by, carving out precious time out of your day to listen and watch what I have to say about what's happening in the wonderful world of sports. And as always, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Not only that, throw me a few stars, write a review when it comes to Apple, Spotify, if you happen to listen to your podcast as opposed to watching them. But again, here on the channel, if you haven't subscribed, this is true sports talk, real sports talk. None of this clickbait, rage bait nonsense. I can promise you that. This is made by a lifelong sports fan, passionate sports fan, for you guys and gals and sports fans. So again, hit that subscribe button, pass it on to those who you think or know that they're a good sports fan, great sports fan, the diehard, the casual, the kook like yours truly, and everybody else that's been here in the chat room throughout. Lord knows I appreciate you all. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, you can hit me up on any of my social media accounts. Of course, the YouTube channel at JAYREELZ, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the JAYREELZ Podcast. Also, JAYREELZ on Instagram. Twitter, JAYREELZ1, just the number. Twitch, JAYREELZ1, just the number. The old-fashioned way, the JAYREELZ Podcast at gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to follow up with you guys and gals, because whether you do or do not know, this is what I love to do, people. It's in the blood. It's in the DNA. Talking sports is birth. That's right. Because where else are you going to get everything that I discussed throughout the course of these 2 hours, or even more so throughout the bulk of the podcast hour, with nothing but passion, fire, energy, fury, with my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens on the world of the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to wherever you are, the JAYREELZ Podcast and live stream always comes correct, direct, and in full effect. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South End, the South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. And until next time on the JAYREELZ Podcast, on the flip, baby. And let's wrap up here with a few of these comments. Someone's going to sign him soon. Or Gonzalez? No, he's already. I don't know if he signed a big-time contract. That I got to see. Juan, I appreciate you too, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Thank you, Val. ESPN, can you hear Juan Leva? Hook a brother up. Yes, Juan. Peace, love, and God bless to everybody. Much appreciate your support and your participation today. And until next time, on the flip.